All right, welcome everybody. I didn't have my comments loaded, so I need to load those really quick. Welcome everybody. I hope everyone's had a great weekend and is looking forward to another great week. My name is Julie Brown. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you are new to this site and you're watching this, I do these lives on my Facebook and then I upload them to my YouTube. So if you're watching it on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I get, the more opportunities I have to put out more videos. Hey, Brenda. For those of you that are new to my channel, watching Facebook Live, again, make sure you follow me and also make sure that you type in the comments. Let me know you're here. That's also how you can ask questions tonight. So let me just go over a couple of things. So this is just our... this has the information for our May hostess code. So if you do decide you want to place an order with me, you just need to make sure you plug in that hostess code. And also, guys, make sure that you are, I have a lot of my team members that come on here, and I know this is for them too. But make sure that when you're placing orders that you're looking at who your demonstrator is, because there is a slight glitch in the Stampin' Up! Site right now, and sometimes if you're not in the area of the, hey Mel, if you're not in the area of the person who you normally purchase from, it will sometimes put a random demonstrator in there. So this is for all demonstrators, all of us. So just make sure that if you want to shop with me, it says that you're shopping with me. If you want to shop with Brenda, who's one of my team members, make sure it says Brenda on there. So just kind of a heads up. So that's all my information there. Please make sure you check out my Pinterest and Facebook pages. Most importantly, my blog, because that is where I put some of the cards that I'm going to show you tonight. I will not be doing videos on, but they will be on my blog later, not all at once, but they will eventually be on my blog with all of the instructions. So there you go. All right, next thing is the Connect, Craft, and Collect. This is a special that Stampin' Up! Is doing from May 4th to June 14th, and it gives hostesses an extra chance to earn a little extra hostess rewards. And so what I am doing is if you submit a qualifying order, or better yet, host a party during this promotion, then you'll get, besides the generous Stampin' Up! Rewards, you can get extra rewards to redeem. And this is the only time that I'm actually going to be available to do, do hostess parties. So even if you guys don't live here, we can do an online one, and you can bring all your friends and you can have them at your house. And we will do a stamping party, and you can be the hostess and earn rewards. The big thing that I am doing is that if you book a party with me between May 4th and June 14th, and you get a qualified order in, so it has to be at least $150 in sales, then I'm going to put your name in a drawing to win one of the die cut machines that you see me use in this all the time. So I think I said that, hopefully, yeah, so a qualifying order is just $150. But if you host a party with me, ding, 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 then you will want to, like I said, if you host a party, invite friends, we get enough orders, then I will put your name in the drawing to win a die cut machine. So exciting, right? So if you decide you want to do that, just let me know and I will get with you later and we will discuss that. So tonight, we are going to be working with a new set, and it is called Plentiful Plants. And this is kind of another succulent set. And so what I decided to do was combine this set with the Simply Succulent set that's in the mini catalog. So we're going to talk about both of these here really quick. So what we're looking at now it's called the Plentiful Plants Bundle, and the bundle is just these two items here. But then they did it as a suite, and the suite is called Bloom Where You're Planted. It is on page 80 of the new annual catalog, and that is the item number. And the suite comes with this bundle, these paper lace or lattices, which we're going to use tonight, so you'll get to see how those work. And then this paper. Now, it comes with a lot more paper than this, but I've been using it, so I just was putting out a little bit so that I could show you the double-sided. So there's this. And the reason you're only seeing part of this page, because I actually fussy cut out like a whole sheet of these. And I'll show you a card that I made with that. So that's one side. And the other side is kind of a wood grain side. And then there's this side, and these are really good. When you cut these in half and then cut them like 4 by 5 1/4, you've pretty much designed your card front, and you can just add a few embellishments or even a sentiment, and it looks absolutely beautiful. The other side of this is kind of a stone marble look. And then we have this really pretty one here. And the other side of this one is a brick. Cool. And, whoops, we have this one. Aren't these pretty? And the dies will cut out this leaf and this flower, or I guess aloe vera. So we do have dies that will cut some of this out. And then this again is kind of a wood grain. I don't know if you can see that. And the colors that you're seeing in here are cinnamon cider, and then the darker color is going to be Cajun craze in these like reddish browns. And then look at this one. Isn't this beautiful paper? It's so pretty. And then the other side of this one is kind of a gray brick. And then we've got this one. And again, the dies that go with this set will cut out this pot, and this pot. Just so you know. And then this one is like a granite gray with the leaves. So really pretty paper. And we're going to be playing with that tonight. And so this paper I just kind of wanted to show you because I cut this out. I did this ahead of time. And I wanted to show you why I only have just a little sheet, because look how cute these are when you cut them out. So this is what you get. You get a ton of these little flowers. Let me get some of the big ones out here. When you cut these out. So you don't have to use this as a background paper. You can cut all of these little pieces out. And then I've used these on a card that I'll show you later tonight. But look how many you get out of just one sheet of that. There's like just tons in here. So fun stuff. This is something you probably want to do maybe while you're watching TV and, you know, just sit and cut them out. Or if you have a brother scan and cut, as long as you trace around it, it will cut it out as well. Okay, so let's get started with our card. So for our card tonight, we are going to be using the Designer Series paper. We're going to be using this new bundle, which is part of that Bloom Where You're Planted suite. And then we're going to bring in, I know these are going to look familiar, we're going to bring in the Simply Succulents with their dies. And these are still in the mini catalog, page 39. This is still available as a bundle. Once the mini catalog expires in June, once that expires in June, then both of these are in the annual catalog, but you buy them separate. Right now, you can buy them as a bundle, and it's a 10%. You get 10% off buying it as a bundle. So, just wanted to let you know that will be going away once the mini catalog is away. Now they're still in the mini catalog, but again, if you want the 10% discount, because all bundles are 10% discount when they first come out as bundles. Sometimes Stampin' Up carries them over, but they're not bundles anymore, so you no longer get that 10% discount. Okay, so I've done a lot of the stamping ahead of time, and cutting out, but there's a few things I want to show you. But let's talk about what you need for this card. So this is the Evening Evergreen, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you're going to need 2 Whisper White pieces that are 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need some of the Designer Series paper, and I'm using this like stone kind. It's the back of this one. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we need some little pieces. So we're going to need a cinnamon cider piece that is 2 1/2 by 3. And then another evening evergreen that is about 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. And then a scrap of Whisper White. This is going to be cut down quite a bit, but this is just what I had. So it's like 1 7/8 by 2 1/4. But once you see what I'm doing with it, whatever will work with it is going to be what you need. So what I did is on one of the 4 by 5 1/4, I stamped all of these images. Let me get this closer so you can see. Okay, so I stamped all of these images from this stamp set. So you can see I did this one and this one and this one and 2 of these. Now these are from the Simply Succulent die set or stamp set. So it's from this set and it's these 2 flowers. So I stamped them in Evening Evergreen. And so these 3 are these 4 are Evening Evergreen. All of these succulents are Evening Evergreen. This is just Jade, and this one is Cinnamon Cider. Just so you know. Okay. And then, so I want to show you how I color this, this flower image. I'm going to bring in the fresh Freesia. I don't even know if I'm saying this name right. It's one of the new in colors. And I'm going to bring in a dauber. And this dauber probably has quite a bit of ink still on it. So I'm just going to kind of start in the center of the flower. Now this is not going to be perfect. And what I mean is that I'm not actually going all the way to the edges. So I'm going to be leaving some white edging on that. That's how I want it to look. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And you see that, and it's because I've already made cards. And so I'm not even having to re-ink my dauber because there's enough ink on it to do this light coloration that I'm wanting in here. Now, if you wanted like the center to be a little bit dark, that's okay. Now I'm going out of the lines, but because I'm going to be die cutting these out, it's going to be fine. And it won't be an issue at all. All right, so that's how I'm coloring those in. Now I've already die cut one of these sheets out, again, because, you know, the magic of what they call TV. Just so you guys didn't have to wait very long. But like I said, this was just, I just stamped all of these in those colors, and then I just used the dauber with the fresh Freesia, and we've got that. So by magic, boom, they're all cut out. All right, but I also need a couple other of the dies cut out. And so I need to cut out this macrame hanger and then one of these little pots. So that we're gonna go ahead and do. And that we're gonna do with this little cinnamon cider piece. And then while I'm doing this, I'm gonna, or actually before I do this, because I'm gonna use, one of the neat things about the dies that come with that Simply Succulent is they've got these label dies. So we're gonna be cutting some of these. So let me grab that from this set. I just kind of wanted to show you guys, I always have a tendency to show you all the new sets, but then I don't always show you how they, how you can combine them with some of the new ones. So we're going to be using the smallest label from this set. And remember, that's the Simply Succulent set, the potted succulent dies. These are the ones that are in the mini catalog. Let me stick that back in there. So I'm going to be cutting this out. But before I do that, I want to, on this piece of white, I'm going to cut, actually stamp the sentiment that says, there's one on here that says, love you. And just so you guys know, at the end of this, I'm going to show you a bunch of other cards that I've made with this set, so that you can see the versatility of this set. So I'm going to do this in Evening Evergreen, which again is one of our new in colors. So I'm going to bring in the Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to be actually cutting this down quite a bit, and you'll see why in a second. So it doesn't even matter if I get it straight. I'm just sticking it in there. And you'll see why in a second. All right. Oh no, I think I left, oh no. I cleaned all my chamois. I know they don't look like it, but I did clean them so that I would not have a bunch of ink on them when I did this tonight. All right, so now we're going to do some die cutting. So remember, this is from that other set, but from this set, we're going to use this die and this little tiny die right here. So then and this is from the Perfect Plants set. So these two sets are so interchangeable with each other, it's not even funny. I mean, it's just, you know, fun cards that you're going to be able to make with this set. All right, so let's bring in the die cutting machine. And this is the machine that if you host a party with me between May 4th and June 14th, your name will get in a drawing. If we have at least 150 sales at your party, your name's going to be put into a drawing to win one of these. How exciting is that? All right, so I'm going to put this at an angle so that I can fit this on there as well. And I can't put this on here yet, but I'm going to use that same die. So let's go ahead and run this through. Okay. There we go. So again, this is from the Potted Succulent dies, which is in the mini catalog. It's a bundle with the Simply Succulents. I know this gets really confusing. So this one came from this set. Okay. And then this cuts out this really cute, like, hanging macrame doohickey. Isn't that cute? Look at this. Isn't that cute? Yeah, that's why I called it, yeah, macrame. I think it's supposed to emulate that, Mel. So yeah, good call on that. All right, and then these have little tiny, oh, they came out, dots that don't always come out. So you'll want to make sure that's out. So let me just move all of this. And then I'm going to bring this back in. And I'm still going to cut it down after I use this die. But now I kind of would like it to be somewhat straight. And I'm going to run this through. And then I'll bring in my cutter because we're going to cut that down a little bit more. All right. So this one, even though that looks really cute, we're going to change that up a little bit. Let me just get this out of the way. So before I move on, I usually do this for you guys, and I did not do this for you guys this time. So I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to show you everything that this cuts out. So it'll cut out that. These are the new set. So it'll cut out that flower, that pot, this pot, this pot, pretty much everything on here. This flower, or I guess they're leaves, this leaf, this one up here, and this one right here. So all of the images on this stamp set have a die that will cut it out. And then you have all of these standalone dies. So you have these two are the same, and then here's a different shaped pot. This I'll show you on a card. This is kind of cool. And then this is kind of like a little aloe vera. So lots of dies, and it's kind of, you know me, I like the easy button. So anytime that I have a set that's going to give me dies that cut everything out or almost everything out, it's going to be on my I like a lot list. All right, so let's stick all those back on there. All right, so we are to the point where we are ready to, ooh, I didn't move one of those dies. That's a good way to lose your dies. I thought that I was missing one. I thought that fit on there way too easily. Okay, so let's bring in our card. And of course, we're just going to fold that and burnish it with our bone folder. And then we are going to bring in this that has kind of like that stone look to it. And we're going to stick that to the card front. So I'm just using the Stampin' Seal here to get that adhered down. And I had some rough edging here because I was trying to get the most use out of my blade on my cutter, and I finally broke down, and I had new blades here, so I don't know why I was being so silly about getting it changed out. You can sometimes use some aluminum foil to run, like to cut through, whoops. If you like take some aluminum foil and fold it up and then cut it with your cutter, that will sometimes sharpen up your blade. But I use my blades a lot because I'm designing a lot and I'm doing these types of classes. So I cut a lot. So I go through blades actually quite a bit. But and I have done a video on the upkeep of your cutter. Okay, so this is those little paper lattices. Aren't they cute? And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm not too concerned about making sure every little thing gets glued, but there's like a solid piece. Let me get it closer. See these like solid pieces? That's what I'm going to put the glue on. Whoops, and that was too much glue. So there's like 3 and then 2, and then it has another, I'm going to grab some of that because that's too much. And then there's another like 3, and then there'll be 2, and then we got 3 again. And so I'm just putting the glue on the back of these because I'm going to be layering on top of this, so I don't feel like I need to have a ton of glue on here. Okay, so then I'm just going to try to get this centered the best that I can. I think that looks pretty straight, hopefully. Okay, so then we're just going to set that like that. And then I'm going to start to build my card front with this. So the first thing, well, this is, I don't need this one yet. Okay, so I'm going to start with my macrame hanger one. And this one is going to have this piece, whoops. It's going to have this large evening evergreen one. And then it's going to have the Just Jade one. So those are the 3 pieces. Oh, and of course the pot. I forgot the pot. So we're going to have the pot. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of measure, because I want this to look like it's hanging. So I'm just going to kind of measure to see where this is going to be. And then that's going to kind of tell me where I need to set my pot. So if my pot were attached, it looks like it needs to be, so see, my pot needs to be put down, like right on this, like right in the center of this little triangle right there. Okay, but I'm going to put this behind the pot. So we're going to take, and I'm using a lot of liquid glue tonight. And again, you guys know I use this because it allows me to move things around if I don't like where I've placed them. So I'm going to put this about right there because I want this to look like it's coming kind of out of the back of this. And then this is going to go on top of that. Here, let me get closer so you guys can see what I'm doing as I'm building this. Okay, there we go. And then again, I'm only going to put glue kind of at the bottom because I'm going to be putting stuff down up here. Like putting stuff down behind this pot. So I want to make sure it's secured down here really good, but I'm not that concerned about it at the top because the stuff that I'm putting, I need to put stuff behind it. So then next is going to be this multiple leaf one that I stamped with the evening evergreen. And this was stamped in cinnamon cider, and this one was stamped in evening evergreen. So because I didn't put any glue, it's going to allow me to lift that up, and then I'm just going to place this down. But see how because I'm gluing all this down, you didn't have to really worry about getting a ton of glue on this piece here. Okay, then I'm going to come in with my Just Jade leaf. And again, just a little bit of glue there. And again, because I've left this where I can pick it up a little bit, it's going to allow me to stick that underneath there, maybe, if it decides to cooperate with me. I think I want that one down a little bit more. Okay, like so. And then what I'm going to do before I put this little flower on there, I'm going to actually do my macrame piece over the top of this. And so, again, I'm just kind of, you know, trying to get like the places that have room for me to put some glue on it, just to try to help keep everything down and where I need it. But you guys can see I don't use like a ton of glue. It's just little dots that I use. And then I'm going to line this up with my pot. But I also want to line it up with this little triangle up here. And see, this part is going to make sure the top of that pot stays down and in place. Like I said, when you're starting to layer, that's really the time to, you know, think about like where you're going to need glue and what you're putting on top of it. That way you don't have to just, you know, have a ton of glue. And then the last thing I'm going to put on for this piece is this flower that comes from that other set, the Simply Succulent set. And I'm just going to stick that like on the front. So like it's kind of hanging down and kind of got big and in front of the macrame. All right, so there's that piece. Then the next piece that I want to do is actually our little saying. So this is the one where I need to cut this love you down. So let me bring in my cutter because I only want this, the part that says love you, I only want it to be about a 1/2 inch in measurement. Let's see if I can do this without cutting off part of the word and keeping it straight. All right, so I'm going to cut that. And yes, it is cutting off this really pretty little area here, but you'll see why I wanted to do that in just a second. Okay, so we're going to bring that. We're going to measure it to the 1/2 inch mark. Ah, perfect. I didn't cut off any of the letters. So then what I'm going to do, and I'll bring you guys in closer again, is I'm going to line up the stitches. So see how it still left some stitching on that white piece? So I'm going to, again, use some liquid glue here because it allows me to move if I don't get the placement down perfect. And then I want to center it on this little label, but I want to line up those stitches. So that's why I cut it out with that same label. But then see, and then look how cute that looks. And can you see the stitching on the, yeah, you can, if I angle it. So see, that's just kind of a fun way to do this. Now this I want to be down here, but there's also going to be another plant down here. And so I need to work, I'm not going to glue this down yet because I want to get this plant in place. So we're going to start out with this piece here, which is the pot. And this was stamped with the Evening Evergreen. I know I'm saying the colors a lot, but because I didn't stamp it, you guys didn't get to see that. So hopefully by me repeating this, you guys will know which ones I stamped with what. And then I'm going to come in with this piece here, and this was done with Just Jade, and it's the smaller of the leaves. The bigger leaf is what I used up here. And I'm going to kind of set this one over to this side a little bit so that I'm not going to center that, but I don't really want it to touch that macrame. So there we go. So it's going to go like so. And then I'm going to bring in these little like flower type looking, and these again are from the other set that's in the mini catalog, the Simply Succulents. And I want to point something out. So when I stamped this one, I didn't get this placed good when I stamped it. So for example, so here's when I stamped it. So this one I had it too close to the edge, and so when I cut it out, it kind of messed it up down here. But that's okay because I'm layering, and so so don't ever throw those away when you mess them up, because like this, that part's going to be covered anyway, and so we don't have to worry about it. Again, I'm just putting glue in the center. How do I want this to go? I think I want it to go like that. Okay, so that's going to overlap like so. And that's why I didn't like glue this in place, because I wanted to be able to move that if I didn't get it in the right place. So now I can go ahead and I can adhere this. And it's just going to be that little love you. Let's see if I can get it straight. That's sometimes this paper lattice, it's kind of a, I don't know what you would call that, but it's optical illusion. Okay, so then we're going to bring in the other little pot with this piece. This time I'm going to put the flower down first. And I think I want this one to be about right there. So this lattice is kind of like I think it's supposed to be kind of like one of those lattices that you put outside that you hang pots and stuff on. And so that's the look that I'm going for tonight. And I'm going to put some glue on this. And then just flip that over. and stick it. So I'm actually strategically placing these so it looks like it's sitting, you know, on the lattice, like it's hooked to the lattice. All right, so there's so far. Yeah, the other thing you guys could do to help me out, I saw that Cassie came on and she shared it, is share my video with people that you know, especially people that love to stamp. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side and let this glue dry a little bit while I do the inside. So the Love You sentiment came from this set, the Plentiful Plants, which is the new one in the new catalog. But then on the inside, I'm going to bring in the Simply Succulents, and I'm going to put You Make the Ordinary Extraordinary. And then I'm also going to put one of these flowers in the bottom corner. So you can see how these two sets go together. So, like, it's so cool the way these two go together. I was excited when I saw this new set because I had the Simply Succulent set. And so I was already imagining doing this. Okay, so I am using Evening Evergreen, and I'm gonna bring in a scrap piece since I actually have kind of a clean sheet here. And I'm just going to stamp this off in the corner over here. And then let's clean that off. So welcome, Cassie. I don't know if you're staying on to watch. Hopefully you are. And then I'm going to let this dry just a bit. And then I'm going to come in with this sentiment from this stamp. Here we go. And I'm using block H for this one. And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen again. Can you guys tell I kind of like this color? Ah. Okay, so I got to be careful because I got a lot of ink over there. So mental note, don't press hard. All right, so then I'm just going to come in and see if I can get this straight. Ta-da! Okay, so that's had a little bit of time to dry. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with these other flowers, is I'm going to come in with that dauber, and I'm going to come in with that fresh freesia. I'm going to have to, like, figure out how to say that right. So I'm bringing that fresh, this is one of the new in colors. Cassie, you're on to avoid making dinner. Well, whatever works. It got you on. So, all right. So again, I'm going to use that dauber, and I'm just going to very lightly, and I did ink it up that time because I had done those other three. And again, I'm not going all the way to the edges because I want some of that white sticking out on the edges. Okay, so then it just colors that in. Let me bring that in so you can see it. So it just colors it in, and it just gives it that little hint of that purple, which I think just really, you know, helps to make this whole thing pop. Okay, so then all we need to do to finish up this card, well, not all, because I have one more thing, is just put this on the inside of the card. And again, I just think that the succulents are just so cute. What is, oh, I'm at the end of I'm like, why is this not working? You know what? I probably need to grab another one. I don't think I got enough ink on there. This is adhesive. This is not ink. My other one had just ran out. So we're going to bring in our card, and we are going to, again, try to get this centered. I'll tell you, for anybody that wears bifocals, you will be able to understand what I'm saying, that sometimes it's hard to get things straight because it looks straight when I first start laying it down. Okay, so there's the front of the card. Isn't that cute? And it says, love you. You make the ordinary extraordinary. But I am going to do one more little thing here. I colored these earlier, and I apologize. I'm pretty sure these were with the Just Jade Stampin' Blends. So, like, these are our Stampin' Blends, and this is Just Jade. And so you just color them. They're silver, but when you color them, you can make them any color with our Stampin' Blends because they're alcohol-based markers, and it allows you to put the color on, and because they're alcohol-based, they dry pretty quick. So even though these are sticky, I'm going to put some glue here because they don't quite fit in the middle. They come up just a little bit short, and I'm actually going to use my tweezers this time because it's a little bit easier to place them because again they come up just a little short, or they're not short, they're a little bigger than this circle, therefore they don't sit down all the way inside. And because of that, when you try to use these have adhesive on the back, when you try to use them, they're not touching anything, so they don't glue to anything. Okay, so then you've got that little jewel right there. Cool, huh? All right, so this was the card I wanted to show you tonight. So let me show you. I'm going to move a bunch of stuff here. I want to show you the other cards that I made. And of course, this was, let me just bring everything back in. This is the new set with its dies, right? And this is the one that's part of the Bloom Where You Grow suite. Oh, let me bring you guys back out. Okay, and then we brought in the Simply Succulent to go with this set to make this card tonight. So I used both of these bundles to make this card because I used both the dies and the stamp sets on both of these. But this is the new one. This is the one that's in the mini catalog, okay, which you can still get through June. And again, it will be available in the annual catalog, but it won't be as a bundle, so you won't get that 10% discount. Okay, so this is the one we did tonight, and I'm actually going to bring it in so you can get close-ups of the cards. I brought it in a little too much. Okay, so there's that one. So this is one that I did with the Designer Series paper and just stamping. So this is all done with just stamping, and this is a thank you card. And so this is Cajun Craze. And then there's that brick paper, Designer Series paper. This is the Designer Series paper from this suite right here. Okay, because what's all in that suite is that new bundle, all of the Designer Series paper, and these lattices that I used tonight. All right, so then there's the front. And this is a really simple, quick card. And then it says, you were there and I am very grateful. And this is one of the sentiments from the new set. Okay, so there's that one. And then the next one that I did, this is that other standalone die. Look at this. So this pot, there's actually a little slit right here, and then this pot fits right down into it. And then these two pots, I used the dies and cut it out of the Designer Series paper. Okay, so I cut this pot and this pot, and then this I cut out of Cajun Craze with this die, and it has it when it cuts a little slit so you can fit that pot down in there. Isn't it cute? Okay, and then I also used our 3D brick and mortar embossing folder on this one. And I brought in some of that Just Jade gingham ribbon. And so this one says, you touched my heart. A little note with the biggest thanks. And again, I stamped this on the inside here. Okay, so that's another one. Now I did another one with the lattice, but I did it sideways. So here's another one. And then this one, I popped this up. So instead of like this one, I did flat, and this one I used dimensionals behind it, and it really looks like it's hanging. It's pretty cool. And this I stamped, it's like the garden green. So I did do the stamp, but I stamped garden green onto garden green. And then here's this one with the two little different pots. There's that other fern this is that standalone fern die right here on this one. And then this is some of that designer series paper. This is the brick designer series paper behind here, the paper lattice. And this one says, to a dear friend, you were there and I'm very grateful. So yeah, there's that one. And then the last card that I did, I combined it with this stamp set that's called A Good Man. And I used, remember earlier I told you I cut these pieces out of that designer series paper. So for those of you, if you came late, this comes in a 12 by 12, but so basically I just cut these out. There's no dies for these. And so I end up with a bunch of them. And then I decided I wanted to do something with this one, and I want to show you this card because I'm in love with it. And it's so simple. So look at this. So I stamped our little guy holding his daughter, and then I colored and I stamped it onto that wood grain designer series paper. I stamped directly onto that, and then I colored him in, and then I added the two plants on the side. And it says, I grew up loved, thanks to you. And that's all from this set here. So I just wanted to show you guys that you can mix and match a bunch of your stamp sets. And that's kind of what this was tonight, was a mix match of this new set and then bringing in all of these other sets. So let me pull all of those cards back in so that you guys can see them. And what a fun set, right? It's such a fun set. So these are all the cards that I did with this. I started out with the Bloom Where You're Planted Suite. And then I brought in, for that first card, I brought in the Simply Succulents Bundle. And then for the last card, I brought in A Good Man. So I want you guys to think about that. I want you guys to think about when you're buying these stamp sets, that don't just look at just that set, because I brought in two different stamp sets and had so much fun with designing these. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these tonight. It was so much fun creating them. And like I said, you know, my suggestion is start here, get this suite, because it has all of this wonderful paper that makes it so much easier to bring in all these other stamp sets. And that's on the annual catalog, page 80. And then the Simply Succulents is in the mini catalog. Again, I know I've been saying it all night, but I don't want you guys to get upset with me. It is in the new annual catalog, but it's not in the new annual catalog as a bundle. You can still use this item number and buy it as a bundle and get that 10% off up until June. Okay, so that's like this. We have a couple weeks left in May. So anyway, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. I hope I inspired you. You know, and I hope that you like what you saw tonight. And I hope that if nothing else, that you want to go stamp and you want to create some cards tonight. So you guys know, as usual, I so much appreciate all the time that you guys give me. I know time is precious, and I really appreciate you getting on with me and hanging out with me, because it's so much better when I get to answer questions and see that people are here and they're typing in questions. It's a lot more fun for me. So anyway, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the time that you give me. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I will be back with some more fun new products next Tuesday. So everybody have a great weekend and well, first the rest of the week, then the weekend. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks. Bye.